What's up, guys? So I've decided to make a whole playlist just for PHP on the YouTube channel here for free. And this is going to be for people who don't want to buy the practical web dev course that I've made to teach you full stack PHP, but still want to learn PHP. I still want to give you guys a lot of information for free. At the core, I just like teaching. So I'm going to make a whole playlist here for PHP, just explaining it in more detail and even going through some code examples, teaching you everything from the very beginning of PHP. Of course, if you want all of the big projects and the whole PHP course, you can check out my complete web developer course, and you can view the curriculum here in the description. I'll send you the link, but it basically takes you from HTML, not knowing basically even how the internet works really, to learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then PHP so that you can be a full stack developer right out of the gate. It's 100% project based so that you can get to building your own projects and coding by yourself as fast as possible. So let's start with PHP though. So what does PHP, what does it stand for? What does it do? PHP, nowadays it just kind of stands for hypertext processor. They took out the first P, even though we still call it PHP. But PHP originally stood for personal homepage. It was made in 1995, so basically right when the internet was first started. So what PHP does, guys, that makes websites so special is it makes pages fully dynamic. So there's two types of web pages out there. There's static and dynamic. So a static page, we can go look at one of these projects that I built from Front End Mentor that I've posted to YouTube. If you want to check out those tutorials to learn HTML and CSS. If I go to one of these live sites here that I built, this is just like a little review component here for social proof. It's called like social proof component, something like that. And it's a project that we built. Now this is just a static website, okay? There's nothing that can change on this website. There's not even JavaScript on this website. This is literally just HTML and CSS. Nothing can change on this website unless I manually go into the code and update it myself. So all users will see the same web page no matter what. It's just static. It's kind of just like having a poster, a digital poster. Nothing's ever going to change with this website. Now, if you go to dynamic websites that are made with programming languages like PHP, they have the power to change on the fly because while they still use the same technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they're actually all converted to PHP pages on the fly, and the page basically refreshes instantly and shows you new data based on what you're doing. And how PHP pages do that, or they show different things for different people, is they usually have login systems where they do something called authenticate users, and that just means when you put your email address and your username in or your password, you get authenticated, you log in, and then PHP has your data stored somewhere in a database. It pulls that page and then recreates the whole page on the fly just for you, just to show your information. So we're on ESPN.com right now just to show you, and this is already a dynamic website, even though I'm not logged into any account here. I don't even know if I have an account for ESPN. I think I do, but even the scoreboards up here that show live scores, these are all dynamic. So even when you're not logged into a site like ESPN, it's still dynamic out of the box because they're always showing you live updated scores. If we go to stuff that's actually on right now, like I think soccer's on, look at that, full time. This game's in the third minute, so that's updating in real time. So websites like ESPN are perfect examples. Also, like popular social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, or X, Instagram, all of those are dynamic because when you log in, it shows you your feed based off of what you like, right? So we can make this ESPN, even though ESPN is already dynamic all the time because they have to constantly show you live scores. If you go in and log in, so let's actually go in here. Let's hover over this and we'll say account. And then I'll see if I can log in. So here we are, guys. I was able to click that login and log in with an account. So look at that. Just dynamically, it took me to ESPN Watch with a bunch of stuff that it thinks that I would want to watch based on my account. So using PHP, this isn't a static website. This thing can change on the fly and make pages. So let's go back to ESPN normal. And now let's see how or even my bar just changed up here. So now if I hover over this, look, it's got my favorite team saved. So PHP and other backend programming languages. Most of the internet, by the way, is run on PHP, even though nobody talks about it. So most likely this was handled with PHP. But now it's showing me my favorite teams based on what I selected in the past. I can go to settings. I can log out. Everything is going to show me different. It even has my favorites up here. Look at my scoreboard changed dynamically. It's showing me all the favorite teams that it knows I like to follow. So that's why PHP pages are so important. Again, they really bring the internet and pages to life. They make them alive. They make each experience different for each user because, again, they have the power to change the code on the page by themselves just based on the user dynamically. Okay? Dynamic, that's a big word in programming. So now that you kind of understand PHP pages, how they work, and what they do, in the next lesson, we'll take a look behind the scenes of a real PHP application that I've built so you can actually see what's going on in the background to make all the magic happen.